Thanks for staying with us now. According to the Punch, in his ruling, Justice Chizoba Oji held that the chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, is in contempt of orders of this Honorable Court made on November 21st, 2018, directing the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja to return to the applicant his Range Rover supercharged and the sum of 40 million naira, having continued willfully in disobedience to the order of this court. He should be committed to prison at Kuje Correctional Center for his disobedience and continued disobedience of the said order of the court made on the 21st of November in 2018 until he purges himself of the contempt. Now, I'm breaking this down. Now, according to Wikipedia, right, because we're not all lawyers here, contempt of court, often referred to simply as contempt, is the offense of being disobedient to or disrespectful towards a court of law and its officers in the form of behavior that opposes or defies the authority, justice, and dignity of the court. Now, are people in positions of authority above the law in Nigeria? That's the question. So today we're discussing abuse of power. We're asking the question, how do we enforce accountability? That's where your accountability comes in. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 018034663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. All right, so, I mean, I like this conversation. It's quite interesting because EFCC has been one agency that has been really working, right? That's been really working. I like somebody's comment on the group when we're talking about this topic, and she says abuse of power, even outside the context of EFCC, should be an ongoing conversation. I have since discovered that while the abuse of power is truly a menace, we only cry foul when we are not the abusers, right? Abuse of power is as simple as a security man at the bank who will not let you into the bank at 3:30 just because he or she can, and the abuse of power flows into other conversations of toxic workplaces. Now, I mean, when she said this, it just occurred to me, like, you know, how if it is in your favor, then it's fine. It's okay. But as long as it is not in your favor, she just abused power today. NJ, but it was in her favor. I'm not willing to, I'm not throwing you under the bus. You just did. but don't we all do this, right? Where there is something that we feel like because we have the authority to do that, we then take advantage. But where I have a problem in this conversation is, and this is why we always say, because if you get the lawyers, they'll tell you rule of law, rule of law, rule of law. That's why we're not able to find a bit of justice and accountability in our judicial system in Nigeria. Because now a court has ruled since 2018 that return this car, give this person the sum of, but because you feel and you're not able to do this. So I am actually, for the first time, I agree with the court, right? Yeah. Let him go to jail since you have refused to answer. It's true, because where your authority stops, that's where somebody else's authority starts, right? So if we start to hold our leaders accountable, we start to hold those people in authority accountable. If we start to tell them, come, the fact that what's it called, rules are created, is not created for just every other person but you. It's created for all of us. So if you also break the law as somebody in authority, you would also face the law. Maybe when we start to do that, that accountability would set in well enough that people then will start to see some level of sanity within our system. But let me hear your thoughts, right? When you heard about the EFCC man going to jail.
Okay, that's the first time I'm hearing that. And it's interesting to hear that something like that happens here in the country, because you think that a lot of people get away with a lot of things. So knowing that the court can actually do that to someone in an government agency, so it's, at least it shows some level, I feel like it shows some level of accountability, and it begs the question of accountability. Like, they made him, okay, so you were given an instruction and you're flouting the instruction, and this is by the court. So you, since you don't want to, follow the instruction, you get served. You get to, so he's being held accountable for his disobedience. of authority and
abuse of power.
Yes,
absolutely.
So
let me hear your thoughts, Mary. Mary is smiling. Mary says she's the abuser. Please explain what you meant by that.
Why did you have to say that?
I was sleeping, but I heard you.
No, because like you said, when it's in your favor, you know, it's a bit dicey. Now you are the one at fault, and it's like, are you going to take the blame, or are you going to be accountable, be responsible, you know? And in this case, definitely he should be held accountable. You were supposed to do something and you didn't do it, so you suffer the consequences of your decision. Yeah. So me, I'm for that too. I have no problem with suffering the consequences. But if, you know, another case now, he now comes up, and when you are begging him for mercy, he brings it up to say, Shay, when I committed the crime, if people said I should
to do the time,
let everybody be guided diligently.
That's a huge threat. Mary.
No, boy, it's the truth.
Remind me not to cross your path.
Boy, it's the truth. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about
but I think we all, if given the opportunity to abuse power, we will, right?
That's why there's law in place. No problem. We haven't said anything now. We have said we're going to be responsible and accountable. But when it gets to your turn, and you are asking me for mercy, I hope you remember this same. That's all I'm saying. And which we should be, you know, it should be remembered.
Let me hear your thoughts, Chinelo.
Okay, so there's this book by Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power.
I'm on that.
Rule number 1. Never outshine your masters.
Come on.
So I think that's what's happened to him now.
Yeah.
He tried to outshine his masters, and those guys don't like anybody to outshine. They will deal with you, and I'm sure they already had other pending. I mean, EFCC has been very active.
They've been targeting him.
So they've been waiting that you
when you mess up
one day,
we'll get you.
So I think that's what's happened to Bawa. It's quite. Would I say unfortunate, but it has happened the way it has happened, and you just go and
I think it's just the game of life.
How many days or how many weeks or months they decide to give him? It's just Kuje Correctional Center. It's nothing serious.
A prison, no. They just only change. They only rebrand the name. It's still prison. That's where they kept having criminals. I hope you know that all the people that he has sent to jail, you meet them.
When that kind of thing happens to you, just like we watch in the movies, I can't imagine what he will be going through.
Well,
knowing that you might end up being a roommate to someone you send to jail.
You have to be strong.
That's good.
That would not be funny. That would not be funny. But let's discuss abuse of power, right? And we're asking, how do we enforce accountability? I like what the judge or whoever that has passed the sentence, you know. So it's not so much of the person. So, and this is not targeting Bawa, you know, saying that, oh, I mean, you've been doing more than like you said, so come and face the law. But this can actually go very well if we can multiply that or replicate that across board. So every facet of life, right? If humans are given the opportunity, they will definitely want to use things in their favor, use power in their favor, right? And that's why you would see where government, for instance, wants to give out a contract, they will go and open, even when the law clearly states that it is, what's it called, no personal interest or whatever, you would see they'll go then open, what's it called, a firm and influence, you know, what's it called, contracts to be sent to that company because, of course, they have some kickbacks they are getting from that. So this conversation is beyond just setting an example with one person. If we can actually push it in a way that we begin to hold people accountable for the offices that they occupy, maybe some level of sanity will be restored in Nigeria. Because this abuse of power is not just with EFCC. There are so many organizations, so many parastatals, so many ministries, right, that need to be cleaned up. I remember when I was trying to apply for the Lagos State Housing scheme that Fashola built, right? I mean, that for me, I still use it as an example any day, anytime. That was the best thing that ever happened in Lagos State. It was unbelievable. So what had happened was my friend's brother had gotten the apartment, right? So, and I said, how did he do it? He said, no, that everything is online. All you need to do if you're a taxpayer, you have all your documentations, just go online, upload it, and just, you'll get a call back. I thought it was a joke because, you know, the system we're used to in Nigeria is so corrupt that it is difficult for you to get those kinds of, right? So he then says, no, just go online. But he then advised that because the 3-bedroom houses were hot cake, so they were more, because they used to do a raffle draw then, so that there were more applicants applying for the 3-bedroom. So when your name gets, because once you qualify, your name now gets to the raffle draw point, that it will be dicey, because once they roll that dice and they pick any number, you can be lucky. So at that point, it's a matter of luck. But he then advised that, you know what, 1 bedroom, nobody's even looking at it. Nobody wants to get the 1-bedroom apartment. And the 2-bedroom apartment and the 1-bedroom, they are same square meter size, that there's no point. Do the 1-bedroom, bigger living room, bigger bedroom, bigger everything. And I said, are you sure? He said, yes. And guess what? All I needed to do was go online on my laptop, did submitted. The next thing I got a call. The next thing they're telling me, oh, you've been allocated, you want the house, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. So I remember a friend of mine wanting to now go to, because I knew the governor and everything. If you see the way he backed at her, I said, please go back and go and apply like every other person.
I like that.
And guess what? That was one of the cleanest systems. If you go to my estate right now, where I got my own allocation, every single person is a first-time owner. The governor was targeting taxpayers like you and I that were paying taxes, living in Lagos, that could not afford to buy their houses, so they could go on that mortgage scheme. Until tomorrow, that was a winning formula, because most of the people in that estate had never owned houses in Lagos and all of that. But the thing that had been happening, because this is where I'm going with the abuse of power, in the past, is this kind of housing estate will be built. And people within the ministry, right, will start buying blocks on. And guess what? Immediately the governor left. That was how back to business as usual. So if we're given the opportunity, everybody will take advantage of the power that they wield. They want to say, you know what, let me quickly gather and amass. And that's what is happening in Nigeria. So until we start to say, you know what, let's put some checks and hold these leaders accountable, maybe we would have some cleaner system to work with, right? Because that is all we just need. That we start to set examples with different people. But until we do that, we are just going to be dancing around in circles, and we will never find a headway. You know, till tomorrow, I am super excited about that. I say it every time that it is possible for systems to work in this country. We just need willpower and people ready to say, you know what, we'll take this decision and will not look back. You know, so I mean that one was for me. It was a sign that yes, that people can actually, you know, be checkmate when they want to abuse power. You know, so but I don't know. Do we have any experiences apart from my own very interesting one?
No, but even for me, abuse of power it's not, you don't find it just within government agencies. You find it on daily lives. You know who I am? Within the office. So let me give a classic example. So I was on the highway, my friend was driving, I was sitting in the passenger seat, and there was a man that he was honking behind us, and then he just, you know, swerved in front of us, and, you know, kind of got us off guard and everything. So, you know, as girls, we are just looking at this person like, so I told my friend, I said, keep driving right next to him. Don't worry, just keep driving. And little did we know, a bus was stopped on his lane. So by the time we got there, as well, yes, as a Lagosian, so we went and we blocked. So we were on our lane, we didn't move, and then he couldn't move because there was a bus. And then the conversation started. Where are you running to? So he's just ran down, I'm going to arrest you. So obviously, the Lagos in me came out, and I went off on him, like, why are you driving like that? You're driving recklessly, and you're being confronted about it, that you would just apologize, you're in a hurry or something, and then the first thing you say is you're going to arrest me because you're who? You're disobeying even traffic laws, and then you're still telling me, you're still threatening me that you're going to arrest me. So in that kind of case, well, I went off in Igbo on him when I realized he was an Igbo person, so he could understand exactly what I was saying, and I was like, you know, there's a way you speak to someone in Yoruba, and you know they would understand, because in English
you can't express
the heaviness of the
you almost have to speak pidgin.
You have to look for
this
English.
one. I went off on him in Igbo, and he felt really bad because we, unfortunately for him, we were not in traffic together. He didn't look up once. So like, yeah,
he got the message.
Yeah. So things like that happens.
And I think, you know, because again, sometimes we overlook it. Some other person would have just let him go. Yeah. You know, we overlook it a lot.
It happened. It was part of what got me out of the issue I had this morning, because, you know, I wouldn't want to say too much, but he took my keys and, you know, all that. Yes, something has been done, and it's not like I'm running away. So if you say let's go to your office, fine, no problem. But there are these behaviors that happens, you know, just between that and the office, and you're wondering, what's going on. So I had to call someone, because I
had to use my power.
No, it wasn't even use of
Let
power.
us go on a break.
Let's
us open our phone line. Oh my God. Stay with us. We'll be right back. If you just tuned in to our ladies' night out, we're discussing abuse of power, and we're asking, how do we enforce accountability? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You could also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Now, our phone line is now open. Please turn off the volume of a television set where you're calling or whatever you're watching with, because we can't hear ourselves when that is on. Now, the number to call is 07025007749. That's the number to call. Remember the rules: turn off everything so we can hear ourselves. There's no feedback. Mary, why do you want to just let me throw you under the bus? Well, hey, let me not say the one I've heard. You know what? But hey, where there is no rule, right, it is difficult for us to have accountability. I mean, we're just talking behind the scenes now about what's it called, Sena climbs, where, so the thing is, it's not like everybody does not. Most people have tendencies. Like, I think 99% of human beings have the tendency to break laws, to abuse power. The only thing that keeps them in check.
But it's not every time, though.
You say what?
It's not every time.
It's not every time. Why? Why do you say that?
What if you just break it once?
But you still broke the law, right? So because if we were left to like take decisions, and that's why we're not, thank God that we know the power that God has, right? Because a lot of us would take advantage of the situation just to channel things in our favor. That is the human nature. We are selfish. We are self-centered. We think about ourselves. So anything that we need to do that would get us, you know, some level of whatever, we'll take it. But you see, what then keeps us in check? Our laws, right? The judicial system, the system that says, you know what, if you do XYZ, you go to jail. If you go to if you do this, you go, you know, those are the things that keeps us in check, right? Because I don't understand where we feel it is okay that, and because I'm trying to solve a problem, I don't, thank you, I don't mind to step on different heads to get it done, you know, because that's what I see that happened with the EFCC man. Because yes, you are solving, I mean, he's doing an amazing job. The EFCC as a commission, they are doing an amazing job, you know, but in all of those things, I keep on saying that even within themselves, they know that they have a lot of corrupt people there. They have a lot of people that they have probably held what's it called, innocent people that have been blacklisted and all of those things. So you must at some point again then admit that, oh, I think with this particular arrest we made a mistake. So maybe that is what this judge has seen, that he says return this thing back to this person. Look at the time: 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, November 2022. This is 5 years after, right? It is not done anywhere. At least, even if the court made a mistake, return it first. Then you then refile and say, come, this case was a whatever case. Please, we have to bring this person back. But I think we have a caller. Benga, you're live.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Everyone. Well, I think it's only serves our rights. Let him go to prison. Just maybe for 1 week. You know, our system is so bad. we don't have any system working. And whatever we need to do as people to get the system working, like you said, every man is willing to do something wrong. It's only the system, it's only the laws of the land that would stop you. But unfortunately for us in this country, we just have two tribes. Just two tribes. The elites and the rest of us. So if you don't have the capacity to call someone and say, oh, I know a commissioner that can save me from a problem, then you won't get out of it. He's talking about trying to appeal. I don't think you appeal the content of the law. When you read the content of the law, like it's like abusing a judge, and you're asking that you appeal it. You can't appeal it. He has to go to serve as an example to him and other people in power, even our president. God will help this country.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely weekend.
Thank you. I like what he said. Let him even go to the jail, even if it is for 1 week.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that it sets a precedent that you should also, in as much as you want people to respect your own office, you should also respect other people's office. I mean, 5 years, that's too long. November 2018 to November 2021. That's 5 years. It's too long. I mean, 2022. Maybe.
And you can imagine what that has cost even the person. So the ripple effect on the person.
So that 40 million naira is no longer money.
That's the thing.
They have to they have to add all the inflation that has happened.
So, and you can't imagine the car wherever it's parked.
5 years.
Right now is
wow, that's true.
So that's money.
That's true. That's completely unfair. That's completely unfair. But you know you're gonna say?
That's if the car has not been auctioned yet.
Because a lot goes on. Why, if you have the car in your possession and the court has already ordered, what will stop you from doing that?
So why would
an
EFCC as a commission refuse? That's where I'm going. Yeah. Let me take Loma. I think Loma from Abia. You're live. Thank you for calling.
My dear sisters in the house.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I want to let us know, abuse of power starts when the rule of law is not obeyed. When rule of law is not obeyed. Secondly, when we have a ruler and not a leader, because the difference between a ruler and a leader will always obey the law. A leader will not abuse the law. So the only way we can enforce accountability, I'm telling Nigerians, is when the people-oriented candidate is voting people power. Once people vote in people that is people-oriented, there's somebody that the masses said, look at the person we need. At the end of the day, you will see that there will be accountability. Okay, now they have that Bawa has appealed the case. He has appealed that case, but in Nnamdi Kanu's case, instead of them releasing him, they now went for appeal. So the same thing the EFCC chairman has done. So the only thing that can make people not to abuse power is when rule of law is obeyed, when the judiciary is independent, and once they give judgment, it will be obeyed to letter. But if that is not done, then abuse of power is inevitable.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
I mean, if you hear any lawyer speak, I mean, we've had, what's his name? Wiz Bandia. Every time he would talk, he would always mention rule of law, rule of law, rule of law. And that's the thing, until they start to take, what's it called? Take this thing seriously. So even if he's appealing, go and do the time first, right? You've done the crime. You've held this person's possession for 5 years. So go and do the time. And I think beyond the time, from what we've just said now, right, we need to calculate. That 40 million cannot be 40 million anymore. It's true. It can't be 40 million anymore. You have to check what dollar was at that time and what it is now, and give him what is due.
I'm sure to
whatever it is. Because inflation has hit the money.
Dollar has not affected anything.
I'm sure to an extent.
Why in Nigeria, our currency is Nigeria. You can't be.
Mary,
you can't tell them.
Can we tell naira 4 years
can't tell them
it's not saying 40 million naira now.
That's not the court's business.
No,
it's 40 million naira we're talking about. It's 40 million naira they're going to return to you.
Really?
Yes.
Paul, I'm coming back to you. Don't worry. And you're the one selling luxury, Abby.
Don't mind that.
Paul, you're live.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Yes, before I make any comments, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. If I ask any question, I'm free to ask any question and just ask my question. There is no problem.
Go ahead. I don't know what the question is.
Okay. Now, like, my question is this. As the occasion and is being arrested and going to be, it's coming back as an ex-convict. Is it going to continue as the chairman or what's going to happen? Because it's going to be an ex-convict when time comes back.
An ex-convict. That one we'll leave it for lawyers to answer, Oga Paul. This is a good question. We're going to ask the lawyers.
Yeah, but it's true.
That's a good question.
Because he has been to jail.
Yes, because he's been to jail. So it has entered his record.
Yeah, so he shouldn't.
He cannot be. He can no longer be
on that
the boss. Paul, where your mind dey? Is that your only question? Thank you, Paul. Mary, let's go back to you. 40 million naira in 2018 is not 40 million naira today. If I am if I'm the person that they need to pay that money to, you will pay me. You will pay me what of 20 million now. I'm sorry.
What will happen in that instance is okay. So the court has ruled, and this money was supposed to have been returned a long time ago. So if this ruling goes through and he goes to jail, then I think Mr. what's his name? So he has the power to actually now maybe charge, sue them
for damages
for something, and then he can recover that whatever he has lost over the years.
Still be the 40 million.
No, what I'm saying,
even though damages
that's what
would
the
be
court says. But the damages will now be added.
The Gucci I bought in 2018, I want to pay the same exact amount of money.
It's not possible. That is retail. Retail.
So what's the difference?
What you are
saying? If I want to use my money for retail? Let me take youngest old man.
Did you tell the court that you are using the money for?
My people.
My people.
I know now. You see, this country, our cruise, a lot of drama is coming out these days, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. From inflation in double digits to our honorable beloved boss at the top, the Yahoo boys catcher becoming a convict as at today. Well, I hope the appeal goes through, but I beg you, in this kind of thing, you people need to invite a lawyer. Now they call a solicitor. They call them. When they come sit down like this, clear us like the question that Paul asked. That kind of thing needs full clearance. So maybe we'll carry this topic to tomorrow. The more understand. Because during the time of COVID, one of my friends came back and was so unhappy that they convicted him in Abuja, and he has to sweep the surrounding. So, and then I was not like, you don't sweep and you don't go now. He said he's a fucking ex-convict. Sorry, calling that word on national TV.
Because everything.
That is his pen. That is an ex-convict.
Yes.
And I was like, which one be ex-convict again? They catch you, you sweep the floor, you go. So, and I was like, later now I can't understand, say that ex-convict, if he spoil show for the guy in future. So, for me, we need clarification on this kind of high-profile individuals. Whether the X thing they are level, I mean, the X they for parameters, big man, no X, small man, full X. Stuff like that. When I bring lawyer come, they come clear us.
We need
now
to
they help us the sabiti. So what are we saying? We are not saying anything that make we dey enlightened and make we know which one be which one. And make we try to be obedient and useful. That is just the key now. It's
you youngest old man. Thank you. I like what you were saying because that's the truth. I mean, Paul asked a very valid question because I mean, even you, as you are like this. But again, there might be the rules of EFCC or employment by the federal government that if you've been to jail and all of that, I mean, we've had presidents that have gone to jail, they came back, they are presidents, right? So, I mean, it might not really affect his position, but it would be nice to understand what the rules of engagement and employment in the EFCC would be. So if they've had any criminal record, maybe they might not be able to, what's it called?
He might not continue
or be at that level of top management. It's possible. But Mary, I'm going to buy the Gucci that I bought in 2018, the exact same amount I bought it. I'm buying it in 2022.
Well, that's
since you say that, but there's absolutely no difference.
I don't know why nobody is backing me up.
Nobody can back you up because
you can't compare that scenario. If you borrow somebody 10 million now, and the person is to pay you back, and something happens, the person has been dragging for 4 years.
That's why there's interest rates.
Omotayo.
You borrowed somebody money, you're going to pay interest rates. Was there interest rates when the agreement was being made?
Omotayo, you're live.
It depends on the agreement.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. Yes, good evening, ladies.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is actually a very interesting topic, and I just needed to say some few things.
Go ahead.
I think most of the problems we have in Nigeria, most of the problem we have with ourselves is self-discipline. When you are talking of power, we abuse powers, even in the family, we abuse powers, in the office, and this causes a lot of oppression. And it starts from oppression. We oppress ourselves so much, and every opportunity that anyone have or has, there is a way that we use the power. We want people to know that we are the leader, we are in charge, and this person has to feel that I'm a leader. And if you look at it critically, it boils down to ourselves in the community, ourselves at home. How do we carry ourselves, our integrity? Because, when you travel out of the country, there is a structure. You cannot misbehave. You cannot oppress anyone. You cannot misuse power. But in Nigeria, find it everywhere. Everyone is guilty, except those who actually understood or have understanding of what it is to be a leader. We need to understand that it has to do with individual first. Who are you? How do you treat people? So that when you get the opportunity to serve or to be in a place of authority, you'll be you behave well and you control who you are or the power that you have. So that is my own contribution. So we need to look at individuals. How do we use our power? How do we treat people that are under us? Thank you.
All right, so let's take comments. Laide says, they have to pay him the value of 40 million naira as it was in 2018. The value as it was in 80 and then inflation considered. I absolutely agree. I don't know what Mary is talking about. I will send her my bill. Go ahead.
For me, okay, I'll take mine. For me, the Office of Citizen, which is powerful, should be activated. Remember, during the Idiagbo era, if you jump queue, whether on uniform or not, such offender retreats immediately because of the repercussion in the hands of Y enforcers. Once one person shouts, "Go back, Y," it will be unanimously echoed. Another point in that our institutions should be strengthened to deal with abuses and contempt, not having selective justice. Austin from Delta.
So Charles from Kaduna says, at local level, which is either in ward or local government, the people could make the aspirant publicly sign an agreement to be recalled when they fall short of most of their promises made to the people, or when subjects lose confidence in a politician. So he's going the political way.
Chidelo, you have a lot.
Okay, so this one is from Daniel Ilo, who is a regular fan. He says, "Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying?" #Ways. Abuse of power. How do we enforce accountability? In a nutshell, Sister Wa hit the nail on the head. She made mention of people being in check when they're about to abuse power. Power is very sensitive, and people who break the law should be put to order. When someone is occupying an office, he should be made to be accountable for everything he or she does. Then the person will have no choice than to deliver. Honestly speaking, you ladies look beautiful and amazing. God bless you all.
Thank you.
This one is from Mr. Wayamdi. Mr. Wayamdi says, hi ladies on the show, good evening. On your subject matter, an informed electorate is the most efficacious bulwark against subterranean and blatant shenanigans in any socio-political ecosystem. In essence, those in government would naturally sit up and ensure social justice and governance, as well as transparency in the utilization of public resources for the benefit of all and sundry, provided there are no uncompromising watchdogs such as a vibrant press, robust civil society groups, and an enlightened citizenship that is ready to vote out those who are not up and doing in the corridors of power.
Abio. My take about this topic is the recent story between Tinubu and Funke Akindele. That was abuse of power. Okay. Thank you so much. I think we had a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, as I said earlier, if given the chance, we will all, even me say we abuse power. This is only the rule of law that keeps everybody in check. All right, so let's start to hold people accountable and let people face the law. Right, we'll see. Thank you, Chinelo, NJ, Mary. Before we go, ensure you follow us across all our social media platforms. So at PlusTvAfrica, you can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements online. Like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. You know, because I'm the anchor, I always abuse power. I make sure I shut some people up. Now, if you missed our quote today, here it is again. I believe the root of all evil is abuse of power. It's as simple as that. I mean, that's the root of all evil. We'll see you guys at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Bye.